Hello, guys, and welcome back to the podcast. This is Paint the Town Dead, and I am one half of your host, Caitlin.
And half, number two, is right here. I'm Andrew.
It's Andrew.
Deal with it.
I will.
I hope so. And if you're at home, I hope you deal with it too, and keep listening. Hopefully this was not too off-putting.
We're not aggressive. We're very... It's like a peacemaker on the new the Suicide Squad movie that I watched this weekend. He's like, I will do anything at all to keep peace. Whether it's kill men, women, and children, I will keep peace.
Yeah, he's like, no matter how many I have to kill.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're not aggressive. We will keep peace at all costs, no matter what. Especially when talking about vaccines.
Yeah. Get vaccinated
Welcome
anyway.
to the vaccine podcast. Just kidding. We've harped on it enough. Go back and listen to our episodes.
We are both vaccinated, so...
Yes, we are. And I think I'll be up for a booster soon, I think. I think that's
sounds like that might be a thing that needs to happen. I don't know.
And you know what? I'm going to do it.
It's like the easiest thing in the world. Just do it.
So,
you
yeah.
freaking weirdos.
Yeah, just do it. Anyway.
You had to get vaccinated to go to freaking public school in the first place.
I know. Yeah. Anyway. And I especially will take whatever steps I need to take because our Scotland trip is coming up pretty soon in December.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I know. Just trying to. I'm really hoping.
We'll see. Well.
Anywho, how you been? It's been a couple weeks.
I'm all right, I guess.
Since we're going to every other week recordings.
Yeah.
Bi-weekly? Did we ever determine? Is that the appropriate term?
Yeah, I think bi-weekly is the correct term. Twice weekly would be if it were 2 times a week.
Okay.
I think
that sounds right. Bi-weekly or every fortnight, if you will.
Fortnight, yeah, that's the other one.
Yep.
That's the word we could use.
I like that.
Every fortnight on a Tuesday.
Unless
that's
something
the plan.
happens, but that's the plan. We don't get paid for this, so.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about this story, or do you want me to talk about it? Actually,
yeah, I don't even know what we're doing. It's all. I make a point never to look at our Google Doc drive because I like to be surprised every week.
What I should do is just tell you what this one's about and just let you see how you do.
Okay. Tell me.
Let's not do that.
Oh, okay.
Because
tell me what is it?
I mean, you're about to find out what it is.
Okay,
Chill out.
I'm so excited.
All right, we're going to be talking about Malik Drummond.
Oh man, I thought about doing this one and then I was like, man, I can't because I just done Isaiah Torres and I was like, nope.
Yeah, so Malik Drummond, a little 2-year-old boy. He is from Searcy, Arkansas. That's about 45 miles northeast of Little Rock, the one true city of Arkansas.
Yep.
He's a little kid. He's kind of shy. It sounds like his mother thought he might have been autistic, but she never got him tested. I mean, he's only 2, so I don't know when you would do that.
About that time, I think.
Yeah, whenever you get your shots, and that's why people think it causes autism.
So stupid.
At least that's part of why. Also because that guy who was a con artist lied on his study.
Exactly.
And nobody's ever been able to replicate his results because he lied on them straight up. He said some kids were autistic and they weren't.
Yeah. And, I see some people arguing about that now, about the COVID thing. And I'm like, you've drank the Kool-Aid. I'm not even going to argue with you because you done sunk down too far into it. So there's no point in arguing.
Except to make myself feel smug.
You smarmy jerk.
Yeah. Well, it's like my Twitter profile. It just says...
Yeah.
It says all tweets are just here to make myself laugh or to feel smug.
I like it.
That's it. I
like it.
November 23rd, 2014 is where we're going to go to start with. And Malik Drummond has gone missing. Mm-hmm. According to his father and his girlfriend at the time. So his father, Jeffrey Leroy Clifton, was sleeping at the time. And his girlfriend, Leslie Sue Marcotte, was in the bathroom. And when she came out of the bathroom, she asked one of the children there, asked where Malik was.
Is this Malik's siblings or is it like her kids?
I think it was a mixture. Like, I think there was all kinds of kids. Because Malik had a twin sister, and she would have been there. And I don't know if she's the one that she asked in this specific spot.
Too little, probably.
Yeah. But she said she asked one of the kids, and they pointed towards the screen door. So basically the idea being that Malik just walked out the door while the dad was sleeping and she was in the bathroom.
Oh, no.
And so they go to the neighbor, and they're like, hey, call 911, and we're going to be looking around. And it had been about 45 minutes since he had gone missing that this call was made. And Amber Alert is issued immediately, as you do, because it's not a movie.
That's right.
Where they do the 24-hour thing or whatever.
That's not a thing, people.
It's not real. It never was.
Yep, that's correct.
It's all made up. Just like, I don't know.
COVID.
Captain America.
Just kidding.
Not a real guy.
If you say so.
He's not.
Okay.
Otherwise, okay, how can he be Captain America and also the Human Torch? Makes no sense. They're not real people, Caitlin.
Yeah. You have a point.
This is like on Parks and Rec when he's like, Harry Potter is fictional, right? I need you to tell me that you know that.
I won't believe it.
So big search happens all around town here in Searcy. They got volunteers, just like regular people looking around. The police are there. They got K9 units. They're looking around.
Whole 9 yards.
Yeah, the whole thing. You're trying to find this little kid who's gone missing.
Just wandered out the door.
Yeah. One day passes. They don't find him. So the search becomes, expanded. They bring in more people. There's over 400 volunteers involved in this. But yeah, and they're like worried about, like he's like kind of, like it said, he may have been autistic.
Yeah, right.
So it's like loud noises. Maybe he's not cool with that. Would he even respond if somebody had called for him, know?
Yeah.
And they're looking everywhere. They're like looking under houses and all that. But they still don't find him. And December 1st, which is like 8 days later or whatever.
8 days. Wow.
7 or 8. How many days are in November?
30 days have September, April, June, and November. 30 days.
30. So it's been 8 days later. So it's 23rd of November, December 1st, 2014. The police suspend the volunteer search. Like, volunteers, get out of here. You're not helping. And
do they continue their search?
The police continue looking around.
Okay.
But they're kind of like,
there's too many people. Maybe?
That's part of it. But they also closed the command center they had set up to manage the search effort.
Oh, so they have an idea.
Well, it's more like what they say is that they could not reasonably believe that Malik was lost or hiding, waiting to be discovered anywhere near the area he could have traveled on his own.
Okay.
So like he's probably not in the area at all at this point. So like having these volunteers run about doesn't help anything.
Okay.
It's kind of the idea. They did say that they're still committed to finding Malik. Like they still were looking. It's just they didn't bother with the volunteers because they said they had exhausted the usefulness of them.
Okay. Because
it was just like the volunteers would just be researching in the same areas that they were before and all that.
Gotcha.
And at that point, they wanted to have like experts looking around, see if they could find something without a bunch of yokels running around.
Yeah, because honestly, it was very kind of them to volunteer their time, but when you have that many people, no telling what evidence might accidentally be destroyed. You know?
And well, they say that they needed to have experts who were focused on the only possible remaining scenarios to clear the areas. And then it's been 8 days.
Yeah, and then we've all heard the show, The First 48. After the first 48 hours, I think the chance of finding somebody alive decreases by like 50% each day or something like that. Don't quote me on it, but it's something like that. But it's highly unlikely after the first 48 that you're going to find somebody alive.
Yeah, and this has been just over a week, basically.
And it's a child, a toddler.
A 2-year-old,
a toddler, yeah.
So they do say like, hey, if we need your help later, we'll get you volunteers, but the need no longer exists at this point, is what they say. They said the investigation and search was ongoing. They're still going to do stuff. They're not like, well, we give up. Anyway, move on.
Right.
It's not that.
Okay. Just not as many people because they got to narrow it down a little bit.
Yeah. They have the quote, "This agency will not stop until he is found and the truth is discovered." So they asked for, citizens to report any information they may have, as usual, like, hey, call in tips if you see anything or whatever. Ask people to also like not cloud the investigation with false leads, rumors, and innuendo, because that always happens.
Yeah, and they have to chase all of them down if they're doing their due diligence, and that can be very time consuming.
Exactly, time consuming and probably demoralizing at some point, I imagine. On December 3rd, the police receive a tip that to look in the Little Red River, which is near Searcy.
Right.
They go in there. They bring in like cadaver dogs. They're searching around the riverbanks. They send divers in to the river, look around. It's like 36 degrees out,
cold.
so it's very cold.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that was not fun. And they sadly find nothing.
Huh.
And Malik's mother, Tanya, who
did she live in the area?
I think she lived in the area. Yeah, like
Okay.
they, separated people with children. They
Have to kind of
shove it back and forth to each other.
So she still had at least partial custody of him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And this is very sad. Don't cry, Caitlin. Try your best. Where it says that she saved Malik's Christmas presents for when they found him. November 10th. This is almost a year later. November 10th of 2015. This is when the FBI offers up a $20,000 reward for information leading to a suspect.
Wow.
Around this time, Clifton, Malik's dad, he told the newspaper about how he says, "It's tough around here, especially on the holidays. I hope he's found safe and that wherever he is or whoever has him, make sure Malik is taken care of first and foremost. Then I want him back with his sister," because he has a twin sister, "with his family."
His sister's
was not missing.
Okay.
Not missing. Sorry. I said that weird.
Yeah, I got it.
Either this is going to end good or bad or never end. And he said he was still looking for Malik, like he'd just like look around in parks or wherever, just around town, I guess. Over 300 leads ended up being called in by people.
Wow.
And this is an example of how like crazy like some of these leads can be. Because there were people from Iowa, Texas, and even California who called in leads at various points in time. There was one report from Texas where they actually had a picture of a child who looked almost identical to Malik, to the point like his mother thought it was him. Right. And it ended up not being him.
Oh, man.
There was also a ransom letter sent in, but it was a scammer.
That's so
Have we talked about that on air?
Yes, because we were talking about that with the last case that we did, wasn't it? Who's the last case that we did?
Maybe. We talked about it at some point, like because very recently.
The mom kept getting calls from people. Her daughter was missing, kept getting calls. And
yeah, I think so. Okay. Ebby Jane Stepek.
That's what it was. And yes, Ebby's mom would keep getting calls and people would call ransom. And they're just low life scumbags. Like, trying to play on a missing girl. And be like, we have your daughter. Give us $5,000. But anyway.
Yeah, it's just gross.
And she said whenever she was working with like an advocacy agency, they said that happens all the time to people with missing children. People will call and exploit them, which is disgusting. It is. It's really messed up. Like, how could you live with yourself doing that? I don't understand that. Disgusting low life peoples. Anyway. We had another tip that claimed that Malik had been taken away because of a drug deal gone bad. There was a problem with this. The person that was accused of having taken him away was in jail at the time. Not going to work. So it doesn't be very hold difficult. Up. Very difficult. Yeah. There was also the remains of a toddler were found in Chicago, and they thought maybe that was Malik. It turns out it's just a different child who had probably been murdered, I guess. My gosh. I didn't look into that one of like what happened with that. Yeah, I did not look into that. Oh, that's so sad. Because it's just like, oh, there's another horrible thing that happened. Great. To another kid. Oh. Exactly. We move on. Police are suspicious of Clifton and his girlfriend. Yeah. Because they're the ones who, you always are. Yes. You have to be. You're right. Especially with kids. Yeah. I mean, well, anybody really. It's almost always like, I mean, what's the stat? Like 90% of murders are like people you know. Like, it's not a random person. It's not like B movies, like straight up exploitation films from like the 80s where it's like roving gangs of rapist gangsters. Right. That's not what happens. No, it's people you know, people that are in your life in some form or fashion. Yeah, or it's like how the vast majority of people who are killed with guns are people who killed themselves with guns. On accident? Usually on purpose. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think my last birthday, my dad was like, "Hey, you're old enough now that statistically you're more likely to shoot yourself than somebody else if you have a gun." Thanks, Dad. I was like, "Yeah, cool."
That's kind of...
That's dark, Dad. Thanks.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it's like a third of gunshot deaths are self-inflicted.
I mean,
something like that.
That would make sense.
So police are like, they tail them throughout town and stuff, like just see what they're up to
from the get-go.
I'm not sure if it was from the get-go, but they definitely are, and they're like, what are these people up to?
Okay.
If anything. They brought in a specialist from the White County Child Safety Center to speak to the other children, because Leslie Marcotte, however you say her name, it's spelled weird. She had like 6 or 7 children already. Whoa. So there's other kids running about.
That's a lot of kids.
It is. It's too many, arguably.
Yes, agreed.
This isn't like 1805 where you're like, I need farm hands. Let's go.
That's right.
So, and also you never know if they're gonna like make it through, because it was like, like, should we wash our hands? No, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, no.
So when the specialist looked into things, started finding some evidence of abuse.
Oh,
like. Kind of happens every time, it feels like.
Yeah. Remember that one story we did? We didn't cover
which one?
We didn't cover. We talked about it with Isaiah Torres.
Oh, okay.
You remember that documentary on Netflix?
Maybe. Which one? Do you not remember?
I can't remember the name of it. Gabriel Fernandez.
Oh yeah. I haven't watched it.
Don't. But I mean, even with Isaiah Torres, same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so. The specialist talks to like the other children and is like, what's up? What's going down?
Right.
And they said that Marcotte would sometimes put a sock in Malik's mouth and duct tape it to him. I'm
sorry, what?
Yeah. Put a sock in his mouth and duct tape it shut.
Gags him.
Basically. And she denied this. She's like, what? We don't even have tape in the house. Investigators found 3 rolls of tape.
Yeah, okay.
And also found child-sized socks with blood on them in her home. So
evidence.
So it looks pretty bad there.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, I did it one time," which is always like something. Okay. Which is like, also, why would you though?
Yeah, you should have done it exactly 0 times.
Yeah, that's insane what you've done.
Insane. Yes.
She also was like annoyed. She says like, people in the neighborhood blamed her for Malik's disappearance. Probably not like thinking she like did anything, but just like, you should have been paying more attention or whatever.
Gotcha.
And she was upset. She's like, you know what? If and when they find him, I'll be proven innocent, and everybody will kiss my feet. That's what she says. Yeah.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah.
You're not making any friends there. No.
And tips in the case start to kind of dry up after a while as well.
Yeah.
So they interview Marcotte again. During this interview, she is in the late stages of another pregnancy. This is her 8th pregnancy, which is about 8 too many, I think.
Are any of them in conjunction with Isaiah's dad? I'm sorry, not Isaiah. Malik's dad.
I assume this one may have been,
but you don't know about any.
I don't know about all the other ones and parentage, or I don't have a family tree.
Dynamics.
Yeah.
Okay.
During this interview, they talked to her for about 2 hours, and I guess maybe because she's like pregnant and cranky or something, she's like, all right, I'm gonna tell a different story. As happens.
What?
She has a new story. It's not
it's
not the wander off story anymore for some reason.
If their story changes, they're guilty.
Usually, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
At
least in some fashion.
Okay.
So, 3 days before Malik is reported missing.
What?
That's where we're going to go to here.
Oh, no.
She says that Malik was not eating his dinner, and Clifton beat him for that. And so then Malik ate his dinner, but then Malik drank another kid's drink, like took it or whatever, and Clifton beat him for that as well.
Oh my gosh.
And around this time, Malik starts having trouble breathing. And Marcotte says that she begged Clifton to take him to the hospital, but he refused because of all the bruising that was on Malik. because he's like,
know.
we're going to get got.
Yeah.
So they put him in the bathtub, and he starts struggling to breathe and starts choking. And Marcotte says that she tried to perform CPR, which I don't know if she's like licensed to do that.
What was he choking on?
Like he just couldn't breathe. Like I think it was just like, I don't know if he was necessarily choking on anything, maybe blood or whatever.
I wonder if he had like collapsed lungs or something.
Yeah, probably something like that. Because I mean,
you can't breathe without. You can't oxygen. Yeah. You can't oxygenate.
It would probably sound like choking, but maybe isn't like technically like he doesn't have like a piece of steak in his throat or whatever. Like the Heimlich's not going to help here.
No. And neither will CPR.
Yeah. So yeah, she says she tried to perform CPR, which again, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Maybe she's seen movies and she thought, but whatever. Mm-hmm. So Clifton wraps Malik in a purple robe, which is one of Marcotte's robes. Basically says he's going to take him to the hospital, but that never happens. He takes him outside, and then he comes back in and says it's too late, that Malik has died in his arms.
Oh, my God. Oh, that poor baby. Oh.
And so, like I said, this was 3 days before he was reported missing. So, the day, he waits a few days with Malik's body.
What?
And borrows his Clifton borrows his brother's Dodge Durango and drives it with Malik's body to go hide it. He drives up into Jackson County, which is where Newport is.
Okay.
And drives off into like a rural area, which is most of Jackson County.
Yeah, it's northeast Arkansas. Hey, Newport is where that one prison is.
Do you mean not, though?
Wait, what am I thinking of?
Didn't you get this wrong one time?
Did I?
And then we got yelled at by people who are from sort of the area where it would be from.
No,
yes.
You yelled at me.
Well, I got yelled at, so I had to yell at you. I had to pass the yelling down to you.
There's some kind of prison in that area.
It wasn't the one you thought it was, I think, is what it was.
Okay. But there is a prison up there.
I forget which one, but I think you may have said like Cummins Unit was up there. And it's like, that's very wrong.
It's not, yeah.
That's more like Pine Bluff-ish.
Well, there is a prison because I see the signs for it.
Are you sure you're not thinking of...
Arkansas Department of Corrections McPherson Women's Unit.
Is that what you were thinking of? Probably not. That doesn't sound like what you would have been thinking of.
Maybe. I don't know.
There's the one in near Forest City.
That one's in Newport.
Yeah. There's one near Forest City, isn't there? Or that thereabouts? That's like a federal prison. It's where T.I. was held.
I don't know.
The rapper.
I think I'm thinking of the McPherson because some of our people have ended up there. Maybe.
I think you're full of it.
Okay. It doesn't matter. Continue. We're in northeast Arkansas.
Yeah. We're Jackson County. That's where... He places Malik's body. Marcotte says she lied because Clifton had threatened to take her down with him. Which, yeah.
Yeah.
So the police are like, cool, we gotcha. And they're like, all right, what we're going to do, we're going to have you place a phone call to Clifton, and we're going to record it.
Yeah.
So, like, just say the things. So she calls him, and Clifton's like, they got nothing on us. They got nothing. And he's like, they can't come after you with nothing, period. All you got to remember is to keep saying you don't know. But he doesn't know that they know.
Well, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I might have messed up on that one.
I done told them everything. So, my bad. Didn't know that was still the plan, guy.
Oops. Also, I'm heavily pregnant with your child. Just don't hurt me.
Maybe. Again, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know whose kids these are. December 1st, 2015.
So we're like a year later.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a little over a year later.
Okay.
So December 1st, 2015, just before midnight, the police get a warrant to arrest Clifton. They go and pick him up and start interviewing him. And he repeats the old story that he wandered off, again, not knowing that he's been got.
Oh, he still doesn't know.
He doesn't know that they recorded that phone call.
Okay.
He's probably just like, well, they interviewed her, so they're going to bring me in.
Right.
And I'll just say the same story.
Right.
Because I got a plan. It's such a good plan. No way it could fail.
Of course.
That is until they're just like, hey, she told us everything, by the way. He's like,
shoot.
Nuts.
Dang it.
How could she do that?
Yeah, who would have double crossed? Don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, no honor amongst thieves
Or
murderers.
Yeah.
So he tries to tell a slightly different story, where he doesn't beat a child to death because, you don't want to make yourself sound bad.
Yeah. She beats him to death.
No, he says that he fell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the other old one. Like, oh, they fell.
They ran into a wall.
They fell and broke their neck somehow.
Yes.
Like,
remember that one?
Yeah, that's Dr. Becky.
Yeah, that one was.
It's like,
I don't believe it.
Like, no, that lady is yoked.
Yeah, no, she didn't break her neck, and children are like strangely. This sounds weird. Pliable. Well, it's because their bones aren't all like totally like hard and formed yet, and so when they fall, they'll rebound quicker. If they break something, it heals fast. I mean, they're more pliable. So that kid did not fall and break his neck. He's not. Well,
that's not what he said. He said he just hit his head a bunch or whatever. Like he fell twice. He fell twice
and kept hitting his head that much.
Yes, I don't know
where it caused blunt force trauma. Okay, sure, I believe that.
Well, I don't. Unlike you, Caitlin, what a fool you are to believe such a thing.
Oh, fool.
But yeah, they're like, that's his story, which is obviously ridiculous and nonsense.
Yes.
And they're like, hey, can you take us to his body? So a few hours later, they drive up to Newport, which is probably like 45 minutes away from Searcy, I guess, something like that. Yeah, that's about right. I actually drove by both of those towns just yesterday because I went to a football game.
Oh, you went to the one?
I went to the feetball game.
How was it?
It was pretty good. I was super tired, so I couldn't super enjoy it. I'd been up since like 2 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah, my sleep schedule's been messed up. But anyway,
okay.
I went about those places.
Yes.
And
you have to go through Newport to get to Jonesboro.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, you kind of like, it's more like you go near Newport.
That's true.
Really?
You pass on the outskirts of it.
Yeah, you don't have to actually go through it, which is probably for the best. More like Poo-Port, if you ask me. Got him. But yeah, they go up to Jackson County, this rural area, and he's like, this is where he is. State Crime Lab confirms it, and they say that Malik died from blunt force, head, and chest injuries.
Oh, yep. That's I guarantee that's what it was. Collapsed lungs.
Yeah.
Or he had a pneumothorax or a hemothorax, which is essentially, because of a collapsed lung.
Okay, I was like, you're using these big words like I know what they mean.
Fluid or air will fill. So like your lungs operate on like a vacuum system. So when you take a breath in, it's your diaphragm moves down and it like you're able to breathe in because it creates a vacuum. As your diaphragm stretches down, it creates a vacuum. And when you breathe out, that vacuum is released. So whenever you have a punctured lung, that vacuum seal basically doesn't work anymore. And so air or fluid can collect in that space, and you can't. Your lung isn't magically going to inflate. You have to have it corrected. Yeah,
it's like a balloon.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. So you have to.
I've seen the video where they're like, "Check out this lung we pulled out of somebody, and now we're gonna blow it up, and look how cool that is."
Yeah.
Like, is that cool? I don't know. It's weird.
So, anyways, sometimes if it's a small one, it can correct itself. But this child was beaten to death. That's disgusting. That's horrible.
If he fell, it probably would not be.
He essentially probably suffocated to death.
Yeah. The claim there is he fell and hit his head multiple times, but that would not account for chest stuff.
Trauma. Right. Yes.
So.
Yes.
Calling shenanigans on that one.
100%.
December 3rd, which is technically the next day, Leslie Sue Marcotte. I spelled her name wrong on this part of the thing, so now I don't remember what her name actually is because it's a really weird Marcotte. Okay, there we go.
Okay, Marcotte.
Not sure if I'm even saying that right because again, it's a weird looking name.
Okay,
but
doesn't matter.
You know what? She doesn't deserve it.
Yeah,
she doesn't deserve to have
terrible.
her name said right.
That's right.
She's arrested for hindering arrest or prosecution.
Good.
So we get to in May of 2016 because it takes a while to do stuff.
Half later-ish.
Yeah. So, they get arrested at the beginning of December, and then we're into May of this next year. Clifton is going to plead no contest to second-degree murder, and he is sentenced to 40 years in prison. He's 43 at this point, so he'll be real old.
Essentially could be a death sentence.
Yeah.
Could be.
Some people keep going.
Yeah.
It's messed up.
It's only 83, so, yeah.
July 7th of that same year, Marcotte is She's going to plead guilty to felony hindering apprehension or prosecution, and she is going to receive a 10-year sentence, and that is the story. Got most of my stuff from Arkansas Online. They were very helpful because they had like a timeline, and the timeline linked to other stories that covered everything. I
love a good timeline.
I would also recommend reading, because I didn't really cover the contents of this one very much, though I used information from it. It is from Northwest Arkansas Online, and it is called "They Never Stopped Searching. Arkansas Cops Driven to Find Lost Little Boy They Never Met But Came to Love." It's a very good article. They talked to basically 3 of the investigators, and it's actually like really interesting. But like I said, didn't cover much of like that specific stuff with those police officers.
Right.
But yeah.
That's so sad. I mean, just imagine a baby that's just talking and laughing and has not a care in the world, and you beat that to death, that innocent being who's so tiny, It's just
he was 2 years old.
Yeah, a baby. That's a baby. I mean, that's a baby. It reminds me of, I have a friend who, one of her friends, this is convoluted. I don't want to use any names, but I have a friend.
That's for the best.
Yeah. Her friend was married to this guy for 3 months. 3 months, that's it. And she was like, this was a mistake. He's a bad person. And so they quickly got divorced. Well, that guy remarried and had a baby with this other woman. And the baby was at Arkansas Children's Hospital. Something was wrong with it. I don't remember what it was. But then they did some x-rays and found this is an infant, practically a newborn. It's only like 3 or 4 months old. This baby is at Arkansas Children's. Something happened. They had to bring it in. They saw fractures, old healed fractures on the baby's ribs. Oh, this is what it was. The husband, the douchebag, was there. Said something happened that the baby fell off his lap onto the carpeted floor and suffered some kind of trauma. Well, that's like 2 feet off the ground maybe, and it's on a carpeted floor. That didn't nothing horrible happened and nothing extreme happened, but they were finding some other stuff. And anyways, they saw old healed fractures, which is a sign of child abuse, especially on ribs, and saw some old healed fractures on this infant, like a 3-month-old. Anyways, they arrested the guy, charged him with child abuse.
Good.
I know. Can you imagine? Oh, I just can't imagine. I feel so sorry for that baby and for the guy's new wife. Like,
I usually find it hard to imagine beating up like an adult. And not because like they would probably beat me, because I've never been in a fight.
Yeah.
But like, even if I could like just whip their ass,
yeah.
Like, I don't know, even when I'm like really pissed off at people, which is not very often, I'm pretty chill.
Yeah.
But I'll just be, I never think like,
I want to beat them.
I'm gonna just mess that person up. I'm gonna throw some bows here.
It's because you're not a horrible person and an unstable.
I never said that, but anyway, but yeah.
It's because you're not unstable, and
I never said that either.
You're not, but it's just, I just can't imagine. Yeah, like you said,
that's
to
crazy.
An adult, to a innocent, helpless little baby. Like, it reminds me of that Ricky Bobby.
Baby Jesus?
No, in
what
Talladega Nights, when the little boy, he's like, someone didn't love you as a child. And for real, and I mean, I know it usually is a cycle.
Something probably happened.
Yeah, a cycle repeats itself, just keeps going. But
it's kind of like most pedophiles were pedophiled, was abused. I didn't know what the word was. Yes. I lost it. People,
obviously something very traumatic happened in their childhood to make them develop into the person they are, but that doesn't excuse that behavior. But yeah, it's a really sad story, Andrew. I didn't want to cover that one because I already covered a sad child one.
Yeah, it's always, there's another. Well,
I know.
There's quite a few on the list, honestly.
I know which one you're talking about too, and that one's really hard.
Maybe. I'll ask you off air if it's the one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
So let's, I don't know, do you have anything terrible to talk about amongst your things that you're wanting to talk about? Like, let's if you have something terrible, let's knock it out of the way.
Let me look. I can't remember.
Oh, gosh. How about this, though, real quick? How many Star Wars is?
1.
That's 0. 0
Star Wars. Bad Batch is over?
Bad Batch is over. I think Visions comes out pretty soon.
Does it have to do with Vision?
No, it's just called Star Wars Visions.
Oh, it's Star Wars. Okay.
And it's an anime anthology series that they're doing.
Interesting.
Just kind of interesting sounding, yeah.
excuse me. I do have something. It's not bad, but it is quite sad that I do want to talk about.
Okay.
My very beloved flute professor from college, Mr. Bonner, Joe Bonner. He was a delight and a wonderful person. He passed away this week.
Did he teach history of rock and roll?
Yes, he sure did.
I saw posts about him from A-State people.
He is a wonderful. I remember. I just want to talk about him for a minute because he's really one of the most amazing people I've ever met. When I first met him, it was my senior year of high school, and I came to audition at ASU for flute stuff, or whatever. And like, of course, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, he's a college flute professor. He's so elite, and he's going to be so strict, and be like, no, that's not how you play it, or whatever. But I got fitted. He just sat there. He's like, he was very soft spoken. He was like, hi, I'm Joe. It's nice to meet you. And he's like, what do you got for me? Let's hear what you got. And then he was so kind. He's like, I don't know. It was kind of late in the game auditioning. I didn't realize that. He's like, I don't think we have any more full scholarships left, but let me see what I can do for you because I really want you in my studio and I'd like for you to play here. And so anyways, he found the money and got me a full scholarship. And I mean, he went out of his way. Another flute student of his, he applied for a scholarship for her because she thought she had missed it or wouldn't qualify for it. And so he was like, hey, what's your social security number? She's like, this? Why? He's like, I applied for the scholarship for you and I think you're going to get it. And I mean, it's just like, he was such a kind giving man. And there's a song by, I think it was Richard Strauss, who was a famous composer. It was a German opera. It was one of the last 4 compositions that he wrote before he died. Mr. Bonner liked this song. Of course it's opera, and it's in German, and the original version's in German, so opera's kind of hard to understand in normal circumstances, but in German I definitely couldn't understand it. But this was the English translation of a beautiful song that Mr. Bonner liked. It says, the garden mourns, cool rain sinks into the flowers, the summer shivers quietly to its end. Leaves fall down one by one, golden from the high acacia. The summer smiles surprisedly and dimly towards the dying garden dream. He stands for a long time at the roses, longing for a rest. Slowly he closes his big tired eyes. And I got really choked up when I read that, but he was a wonderful man, and the world has lost a very beautiful soul. So anyway, enough of that.
Do you need a break? Or
no, I'm
are you
okay.
good?
I'm
You're
okay.
Good?
Yes.
Well, it's a good thing I'm here so I can totally remove all emotion from you by talking about stuff that will annoy you or whatever.
Is it wrestling?
No, I don't have wrestling on here.
Oh, thank God. Okay, cool.
Though we're recording slightly early today because I'm going to go watch wrestling later.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay.
CM Punk's return match and Bryan Danielson might be coming back. We'll see.
Well, okay.
Anyway, I've got, I've been watching 2 shows, sort of.
Okay.
Do you want to hear the one you would care about first or the one you could not possibly care about?
The one I could not possibly care about.
Excellent. I've been watching a lot of, so are you familiar with Pluto TV?
Yeah.
The streaming service.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free. And it's just weird internet streams.
Yeah.
It's here's a channel. It's nothing but Andy Griffith over and over again.
Yeah. Here's
one that's Mystery Science Theater 3000 or Riff Tracks over and over again. There's one apparently that's just like Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. But I found one that's my favorite.
Tell me.
The channel's called Tokushoutsu or something like that.
Sounds like anime.
It may as well be. I've been watching a lot of, you know how you always have a show where you're just I'm just going to put something on.
Uh-huh.
So this has become the thing that I just put on, where it's Tokushoutsu is the name of the channel, and it plays Super Sentai shows.
What is that?
It's what Power Rangers is from.
Oh my Lord.
And they play multiples of them. There's different shows. There's a whole bunch of shows.
Uh-huh.
And the weird thing is none of them connect to each other really. Whereas Power Rangers, they sort of edited it up to where it's this is still the same people sort of.
Uh-huh.
Whereas this is just it's all separate. So I've been watching a bunch of those. I've been sending you snapshots of them.
You have. You sure have.
The one where the person was in a paddle boat running away from other people in a paddle boat. Mm-hmm. There's a part earlier in that episode during that same sequence where they're running around in go-karts from each other.
Very nice.
I love it. basically live action anime. It's Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But it's really funny to watch because it's clearly like there's no budget.
So
or it's
goofy.
not a,
It's so goofy.
and it's so fun though. I don't know. It's just wacky.
As long as it brings you joy.
So I've been watching my favorite ones. I'm really liking O Ranger, which is what became Power Rangers Zeo. And they all have like really long names. I forget what they are. This is like Choriki Sentai O Ranger. And then Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger is another one I like a lot. Part of it was used for Power Rangers Season 3. And part was for something called Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers.
Whoa.
Never heard of it.
Me neither.
The other one I really like out of them, because they're not all the same. They're all very different, is Chojin Sentai Jetman. Also, all O Ranger and Jetman have really good theme songs. Like, they get stuck in my head. They're so good.
Go, go,
No, but O Ranger has like, dash, dash, O Ranger, something, something. And Jetman's like, Jetto, Jetto, Jetman.
Don't like it.
I love it.
It's too on the nose.
It's fun. I love it. Jetman is actually interesting because it's the last show they made of Super Sentai before they started doing Power Rangers. So there's no Power Ranger equivalent of it.
Oh.
Something Zayu Ranger or whatever is what Power Rangers was. But anyway, there's also Go-Go 5, which is one where they're like all firefighters who become Power Rangers.
So weird.
There's Mega Ranger, which I kind of like. And it has a fun ending song where it's like something dance mega whatever. I don't like Car Ranger.
Car Ranger? It's
the one that it became Power Rangers Turbo. They drive cars.
Oh, it's not like what's that robot one? Michael Bay.
No. Well, consider again, all of these have like there is a giant robot that forms up.
That's true.
Just like in the original Power Rangers.
Right.
They all do that.
Okay.
Car Ranger though is weird because it was done as an intentional parody of all the other ones. So I don't like it as much because I like it when it's funny on accident, which is just the part where it's like no budget and it's silly. There's also Time Ranger, which I haven't watched a lot of. Hurricaneger, which is like Hurricane Ranger. And there's also Gal Ranger, which I've only seen one episode of, but they use CGI for like the robots for part of it. It's like, no, don't want that.
I need low budget.
I want to look like a flipping remote controlled car that they just drive across a thing. But it's also funny because it's like, this is clearly just a park y'all just shot in.
Right.
I mean, again, there's the one where they're like driving go-karts. Like,
so
sure,
weird.
Why not? But anyway, I've been watching a bunch of those and it's fun.
Disagree.
It's a lot. You haven't watched it.
You know who likes Power Rangers?
Children?
I was saying my 4-year-old nephew.
Well, he wouldn't like Super Sentai because subtitles. It's in Japanese.
He wouldn't care what language it's in.
It's good
He'll
stuff.
just watch it.
It's just fun. I don't know. And I enjoy the earnestness of most of them, other than Car Ranger, because it's intentionally funny.
Yeah.
Or at least tries to be.
Right.
But I like the earnestness. They're like, we're doing our best with like our weird
$10 budget.
Our weird live action anime we have to make with guys punching down a cardboard building or whatever.
So bad.
It's so fun though. I don't know.
What about the show I care about?
Adventure Time.
Oh, you're watching it.
I've been watching a bunch of Adventure Time. I am about halfway through season 6.
Okay, you're getting up there.
I'm getting there. I would say that show, I mean, it's fine, the first 2 seasons. It's somewhere in season 3 is where it like really starts going like, oh, I'm really interested in where this goes now. Because the first 2 seasons, it's just like self-contained very much. And it's like, none of this really matters.
The first
season 3 is where it starts picking up.
And the first season especially is pretty rough. You got to get, like, I remember when John and I started watching it, I was like, just keep going with it. Like, just first season, we could probably just totally skip. It's super weird.
You wouldn't know what LSP stands for, though.
You'd figure it out. But anyways, he was like, yeah, I'm glad we got through that season. It's pretty bad, but you make it through.
There's a lot of good stuff.
It's so deep.
Yeah. I like the character of James.
James. Just like every movement he makes a sound.
So weird. I like whoever does the voice of him is also the voice of Brack from Space Ghost, Coast to Coast.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, like I heard his voice. I was like, who is this? I know.
They have a lot of really good actors in there.
They had Donald Glover.
He plays alternative. He plays Marshall Lee.
Yeah, Kumail Nanjiani's in it. He's Prismo.
Yes, I love Prismo.
I think the guy who does Jake is the guy who does Bender.
Yes, John DiMaggio.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember who else. I've heard other voices where I'm like,
they have a lot of
great
guest actors. A lot of great guest actors.
Yeah, that I would say season 3, the Christmas episode, without saying too much of what it is, that's the one where it's like, okay, let's go. Let's go. I'm into it.
The backstory of Ice King is really good.
Yeah.
And it's very deep, and with some other characters that are involved with his past, which is fascinating. I love it.
I like BMO a lot.
See, I hate BMO. I could skip
Why? BMO's so...
I could skip every episode with BMO.
I love the episode of BMO with the bubble. And then the bubble pops and BMO's just like so distraught. Yeah. And they're just like, look at BMO being dumb with this bubble.
Exactly.
And then BMO hears the bubble speaking. It's like, I'm air now. Yeah. I'm always with you. I will see you at all times. It's like real creepy. And BMO's just like, yay.
See, that's least favorite character probably.
I like the part where Magic Man steals Jake's sandwich and goes into the time bubble where it's like time is going super slow, and BMO's like, I'll save it, and gets on a skateboard and just jumps through, and it's like, yeah, look at me on a skateboard. There's like, oh, BMO just wanted to show off his skateboarding skills. How dare you, BMO? That's good stuff. I don't
like BMO.
Oh, you're the worst.
BMO's the worst. What else you got?
I would say Lemon Grab's the worst.
Oh, Lemon Grab's really bad.
Actually.
I hate all the Lemon Grab episodes, yes.
It's just exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
the guy that plays the voice of Lemon Grab plays
Justin Roiland.
Yeah, Morty from Rick and Morty.
He plays Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
He does both.
There you go.
And he's also a frat boy on Invincible for like 10 seconds.
Oh.
He's in a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
He's in Gravity Falls. He's Benjamin Blandon.
He makes big money now, so.
Yeah, probably.
I know he do.
Better.
What else you got?
A couple other things, but why don't you go for a second?
I'll start with, did we talk about The Witcher? The animated one?
No.
We haven't. Okay.
I haven't watched it, so.
You haven't?
No.
You got to watch it.
I'm busy watching
other things.
Chojin Sentai Jetman.
Well, right off the bat, it starts off really gory. It's nothing like the show. Nothing like the live action show. It's the backstory of Geralt's mentor or whatever.
Vesemir?
Yes, it's Vesemir's backstory, and I thought it was really good. I love the story. It was very gory, it's like an anime. I don't watch anime. I'm not an anime person.
What's that anime you were like, I'm gonna watch it?
It had something to do with like a pirate princess, and I was like, cool.
Yeah,
I was about that. But I haven't watched it. But The Witcher, it's a movie. It's not shows. It's a movie. But it's in that like anime style. But I really liked it a lot. I thought it was a great story, and I learned more about the Witcher backstory. So I thought it was good. And then you and I talked about this beforehand, but I also today, September 5th, is the last day to stream The Suicide Squad on HBO. So I watched it. Me and John watched it last night. Didn't care for it.
Caitlin just doesn't like good things.
Didn't care for it. It was okay. It was okay. I would never watch it again.
I would not. It's real good.
It was okay. I like the part where cause see, I'm not a big Harley Quinn fan. Like, I don't get the appeal.
She can be exhausting, which is how I felt when during that Birds of Prey movie. Yeah. But she's not too much. She's not in this movie so much that she's exhausting.
No, she's not.
She's actually quite good in it.
Yeah, I did notice that her role in it was a lot more diminished than her roles in some other stuff. But I did like the part where she just like shoots that guy. She's like, I told myself that if I saw some red flags, I would just take care of it or whatever. She just like bow.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. I like how that one girl's name is just Ratcatcher 2.
Yeah.
It's like, sure.
Ratcatcher
She's the
1.
second one.
Oh, and Taika Waititi played Ratcatcher 1. Did you notice that?
I did.
Yeah. I didn't notice it till the end when they had a close-up of his face, though. I didn't notice it in the other parts.
Yeah, that movie's real good. You're wrong.
I liked her. The rat was adorable.
Yeah, that was one where I was like real worried because they kill so many people without spoiling anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, if they kill this rat, I'm going to be very upset.
I was going to be really upset. Yes. I was afraid when a certain person had the other person.
Yeah.
Had the other person.
I was very
like
I was very
like,
concerned.
oh no, the poor rat. Oh no, but no, it was okay. The villain was super strange. I like that Peter Capaldi was in it. Didn't know he was in it. I was like,
he's the
doctor.
thinker.
But that's why he left Doctor Who.
That's right. So he could just do this one movie.
Yeah. He's branching out.
I watched, speaking of DC, Wonder Woman 84 is back on HBO Max.
Oh, okay.
I watched it. It's not very good.
It's okay.
It's exhausting. It's 2.5 hours long.
Wow.
And still feels rushed, which is crazy. It's like, what if we made a 2.5 hour long movie where it still feels like we're just kind of rushing through everything? Like, they did it. For one, that opening scene with the big race goes on for like 20 minutes.
Oh, I didn't notice
why?
that.
It's so long. It's just like, why is this so long? And also, what a terrible setup for the people like in the stadium. They only see like the first quarter of the race. The whole rest of it is just like, let's see who lights smoke
wins
somewhere else. I don't know.
You know what I did like about that movie? I liked that outfit that Wonder Woman had, the golden one,
which was so flipping pointless.
Yeah, it was.
For one, how did she get it?
But I love it. I thought it was really cool.
It looks cool, but like, she didn't need it. Like if she, so like part of the thing is like she's losing her powers. Mm-hmm. Why didn't she use that when she was losing her powers? That would have made way more sense.
I can't answer the question.
Because she clearly didn't need it. Yeah. She just wins. She just defeats Kristen Wiig and her horrible CGI, and they're having this horrible fight that's in total darkness, probably to hide the bad CGI. But it looks like a garbage fight scene. It's terrible. The only, and also ghost rape.
Oh yeah.
Because that whole thing with Chris Pine's character, Steve Trevor, it's messed up.
It was,
and we're supposed to, and like, what kind of hero is Wonder Woman supposed to be? Where she's like, I don't care. We've displaced the soul of this man or whatever. Yeah,
it doesn't matter because Steve is back.
But what about the other guy?
Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Steve is back.
Except then she meets him at the end of the movie. So clearly
he's back. He's fine.
It's so weird. I don't know how. That's bad.
I get it.
Pedro Pascal's pretty great in it.
I do like Pedro Pascal.
He is over the top and a half.
Yes,
and I love it. That's the best part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, none of it makes any sense. It's bizarre.
You don't make any sense.
I just don't. I don't know what they were thinking with this movie at all. Especially, oh my gosh, they don't even like play 80s music and all in it, which is weird.
Oh yeah, I did.
Why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah,
they played Blue Monday in the trailer. Like, just do that. Do something.
Yeah.
Instead of playing your weird squealy Wonder Woman song. Yeah, that one. They played versions of it. Yeah.
Oh, is that Wonder Woman?
Something like that. The one's like ridiculous guitar riff.
No, that's the Thor thing. I come for the land of the ice and the.
There's a ridiculous guitar song that Wonder Woman has.
Bump 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 da na 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 na.
That sounds similar.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, that movie's not very good.
Well, I'm glad you told us how you felt about it.
Yeah, I finally saw it, so you get to hear about it.
You know what was really good? 2 things.
The Suicide Squad.
No. 2 things. I finished an audiobook in a very short... This is probably the fastest I finished an audiobook. It was 25 hours, I think, of audio. I finished it in a week.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I listened to it a lot. But it was The Clockmaker's Daughter by Kate Morton. I really liked it. It was very character heavy, which it was very character heavy, which I love because that's what helps me feel into the story is character development. So
why did you like Wonder Woman 1984, which had no character development whatsoever?
I said it was okay. I was already introduced to those characters in the other movie anyway, so it's fine.
If you say so.
But Clockmaker's Daughter by Kate Morton, I thought it was very good. The ending was kind of anticlimactic, but that's fine. It's fine. It was still loved the stories within it. I thought it was really great. I loved it, and it was beautiful, and I loved the setting of it. So I recommend that. I gave it a good rating, and then I also binged. It's on HBO. Mayor of Easttown. Have you heard of it?
I have. A lot of people have been talking about that.
Yeah, it has Kate Winslet in it. And some other folks, but it's not Mayor, it's Mare, M-A-R-E. That's her name, Mare. That's Kate Winslet's name.
Yeah, it's not Mayor.
No, it's Mare, M-A-R-E. Again, that's Kate Winslet's character. Mayor of Easttown. She's like a detective, it's a small town, and I think Pennsylvania or something like that. And she's the like detective in the town. And anyways, she knows everybody. She grew up there. And anyways, I loved it. It kept me on the edge of the seat. Even John, we watched the first episode, and John was like, I was like, do you want me to wait for you? He's like, no, you can watch it without me. It's fine. And then we ended up watching the second episode together. And then we ended up watching all of them together because he got vested in it too. Oh, Evan Peters is in there from what's he in? That one scary show.
X-Men and American Horror Story.
Yeah, American Horror Story. Yeah, and briefly in WandaVision.
And Kick-Ass, I think.
I don't know. I haven't seen.
I think he's in Kick-Ass because him and somebody else. I think maybe the other. There's some other person who's in Kick-Ass that it's like a reference to him being there. Maybe the other Quicksilver. I don't remember.
I don't know. I've never seen it. But anyways, it was a really good show. Kept me on the edge of my seat. We didn't figure out the true ending until the end. I thought it was really good. Loved it. It was very well done. I'm excited for season 2. If they have a season 2, I will be watching that for sure. So yeah, what else you got?
I think that's about it. There's like a game I started, but I'm not far enough into like say anything about it really.
What is it? What game is it?
The Forgotten City.
Ooh.
It's a mystery game with a time loop thing.
Oh yeah.
I'll let you know more.
Tell me how it is.
In a fortnight.
Probably before then, but be sure to talk about it.
Yeah. Other than that, I've video game wise, I've mostly just been playing Splitgate and Rocket League still. Splitgate, still very cool, still very awesome. Portaling around, making people look like chumps, or sometimes looking like a chump because they do the same thing to you. Yeah, like, oh no.
Ooh, I have a couple more things.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, What If? Have you started that yet?
I sure have not.
It's really good.
Caitlin, did you not listen to how many Super Sentai shows I read off?
Unfortunately. This is more important. I really think that this is going to, I know it comes, I can tell it comes into play into the multiverse thing. It does. This last episode.
So they're going to bring together all of the Super Sentai shows because those are all separate. Actually, some of them have versus movies. I think it's Go-Go 5 and Time Rangers, I think,
we're done with
come
Super
together
Sentai.
to fight or something.
We're on What If. It's really good. Oh, the 9 Rings. It's out, isn't it?
10 Rings. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings.
It's out, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I need to watch it. And then something comes out in October. When does Multiverse of Madness come out?
I don't know.
The new Spider-Man movie comes out soon.
Yeah, it comes out at some point.
It looks awesome.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. And that's what I think it's going to come into play. Because you and I have talked about this. I sent you the link to the theory that...
And I was like, I already heard this.
That Doctor Strange...
I already know this theory.
That the Doctor Strange in the trailer that it shows is not really Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
That it's
what's
Mephisto.
he doing? It's really weird. Yeah. It could be Mephisto because there is a comic called, I believe it's One More Day. And it's basically Spider-Man wanting to have his identity hidden again because some bad stuff happens after Civil War. And Mephisto's like, if you give me your marriage. And so like him and Mary Jane aren't married anymore.
Weird.
And nobody liked that story at all.
Boo.
But this seems very different overall than that.
They kind of like use, I think, the comics as a guideline, but they change it up to
they
make it
do
better.
Like Captain America Civil War. If you compare it to the comic Civil War, it is quite different.
It's just a guideline.
Yeah, the comic Civil War is basically like Iron Man and some superheroes versus Captain America and some superheroes. But what actually happens in the movie is extremely different, and I would argue much better.
Yeah.
The comic was not very good, but whatever.
So you should watch What If, especially before you see any more Marvel movies.
I'll get to it, I guess.
I started a new audiobook, much different than The Clockmaker's Daughter. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Oh, good.
Have you read it? It's a very short read.
I have not actually read it, but I know what it's about.
It's about the Holocaust.
And that's why I haven't read it.
And I just was like, you know what? I'm in the mood for a good cry. Not really, but I'm sure it's going to happen. But it's one I haven't read and I've heard a lot about. And I was like, you know what? I need to do this. And then I think Schindler's List will be eventually as well. It's a book as well. We'll see. It's a maybe on that one.
That seems like the sort of thing where you do one Holocaust thing and then you're Holocausted out. You don't need any more for a good while.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say at some point, Schindler's List, because I've never seen the movie.
It's one of those things where I was like, I don't want to.
Because it's super depressing, clearly.
Yeah.
But this is, here, let me see if I can find it. I'm going to read you the Audible description of the boy in the striped pajamas. It was very apt.
I feel like you should have front loaded this one.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
I specifically asked if you had anything sad to talk about, and you're just like, I'm going to save the Holocaust thing for the last.
This is what it says. Was it this?
I don't know.
Hold on. You might have to cut this part.
Oh my gosh, what are you doing? I knew I should have. I can't believe you right now. Just unbelievable. Like unthinkable that you're just.
Oh! It was one of the reviews when I was seeing if I wanted to read it. I will say the narrator, not the best, but he's okay. Everybody says it was very poignant. This is how I kind of introduced this to my kids as we talk about the Holocaust, and we read this together and we talked about, because it's super deep, but it comes from a young boy's perspective, a 9-year-old boy's perspective. It says, this is the last line of the book in the review. The last line of the book just blew me away with its still relevant warning. Quote, nothing like that could happen again. Not in this day and age. Except then it does. Over and over and over again. I was like, oh, God. Oh, yes. And I was like, oh, boy. Here comes a doozy. But I think it's going to be good. And then to lighten it up, there's 2 really exciting festivals coming up in Arkansas.
Is one of them involve something fun like one of those other shows, Ultraman or Kamen Rider?
What is that?
Those are other shows similar to Super Sentai.
No.
I'm trying to lighten it up by talking about something that's fun and hokey. Well,
I'm talking about food. Everybody loves food. And it is the Greek Food Festival in Little Rock.
Oh, yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, they have, and it's a fundraiser it's the Orthodox Church in Little Rock. It's a big fundraiser that they do every year. It's a really big deal. They sell everything. They have delicious food. Go to it. It's so good. Last year was my first time to go to it. And normally, I think it's a little different. Normally, they have like dancing and activities and a whole bunch of stuff to do. But last year, it was strictly drive through, get your Greek food because...
That's honestly all I want to do.
Yeah.
I just want to drive through, get some Greek food and leave.
That's totally fine with me. They have delicious, amazing Greek food, and I'm super excited for it. And then that is the first weekend of October. I think it's October 1st and 2nd, maybe? Is that right?
I don't know.
Yes, 1st and 2nd. And then the weekend after that, October 8th and 9th, is the Scottish Festival at Lyon College. I'm so excited about it. You know I love, and that was just going to get me in the mood for December when we go to Scotland and we experience the real thing.
Yeah, for if you go to Scotland.
Shut up. It's going to happen at some point, whether it's this December or not, but it will happen at some point. They already said I can rebook and they won't charge anything, especially if it wasn't my fault. So I'm really excited about that. I've been to it once before. That's where I got my Lyon College sweatshirt because I got there. It was really cold the last time I went, and I wasn't expecting it to be because it'd been hot. And so they had their gift shop open, and I went in there and ended up getting a sweatshirt from there. Everybody's like, oh, you went to Lyon? Nope. I went to a festival there and got cold.
You're like, nope, they wouldn't let me come.
That's right.
Because it's too prestigious, maybe.
I don't know. It's a
it's
Catholic,
a very small.
I think Catholic.
I don't think it's Catholic.
Is it not? It's religious of some sort.
I don't know.
But it is.
Maybe it is.
It is Scottish though. That's their whole thing is that they're a Scottish college.
They are the Fighting Scots.
Yes, and they have a pipe, like a bagpipe and drum corps there, and so they'll do some.
They are exactly what I would have guessed, being a Scottish thing, which is Presbyterian.
Oh, Presbyterian. Okay.
I think Presbyterian is very Scottish thing.
Oh, I
apparently.
didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, suck it.
Okay. And they'll have food there, and then they have, get this, they have a sheepdog demonstration. How fun is that?
I don't know.
And
I've never seen it.
They have Highland games there where people throw logs and big rocks and stuff. It's really cool.
And you win those.
Well, I mean, it's actual competitors,
people, you.
No. People that are on teams and they travel around.
Yeah, your team.
No, I don't do it. I'm weak. But
well, that's why you keep losing though.
Shut up. Anyway, so people will come because it's like a whole competition, like, and they have like, I guess, like regions kind of. And so people only have so many competitions within their region, so they travel to different states to go to these different these Highland Games competitions, and they compete and they win stuff, and it's really cool because they all wear kilts and they're big and muscly and hairy men.
But isn't like the kilt thing like more of a myth anyway?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I watch a bunch of Scottish TikToks and all the guys have on kilts in it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I guess I'm thinking of like Braveheart. I don't think they actually had kilts at that point in time or something.
I have no idea. I know that like for ceremonial stuff, like in weddings, a lot of Scottish people will wear kilts in their blazers and stuff and whatnot.
Drew McIntyre sometimes wears a kilt.
See?
He's a wrestler from Scotland.
There you go. See? It's true. Everything's true that I said.
His song has bagpipes in it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
The only time you're going to see me excited about wrestling.
I'll find another thing that'll excite you.
What?
I don't know. I just haven't decided. I haven't figured it out yet.
It's not John Cena. Don't think he's attractive at all.
Well, we already tried to do the attractive thing
with wrestlers.
Yeah, where I found Irish and Scottish wrestlers, and you threw down on all of them. You said no thanks.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, Drew McIntyre, he's too beefy and hairy.
Yeah.
Oh, Finn Balor, he's too skinny with his like 20 abs. Or Killian Dane, he's too hairy.
I
and
like
fat.
his name though. I like Killian. That's a good name.
He's from Northern Ireland, I think.
It's different.
Yeah,
than...
Beast of Belfast. That's what he's called.
Yeah, that's Northern Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beast of Belfast.
I don't know. I think. Yeah, I tried to find one for you, and you were like, "Nope, I don't like any of them."
Nope. It's because it's wrestling.
I think that's all it was. You were just being a hater for no reason.
Maybe.
But yeah, I'm gonna go watch wrestling, I guess.
Okay. Well, I think I have finished everything. I had a list, so I finished everything on my list, so we're good.
I'm gonna watch Super Sentai shows until you know what's really bad.
I don't have to work tomorrow. It's my day off tomorrow.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
I looked at like potentially buying DVDs of the Super Sentai shows because that way I could watch whichever ones I wanted, and the episodes have already been repeating, which means I don't know what schedule they're working with, because I looked at the thing and it's like there's 50 episodes of the show. Like, why am I seeing the same episode like 3 days later then? I already saw this one where the magic piano monster does time travel stuff. Like, what? I shouldn't be seeing this again. Man, good stuff though.
Do you say so?
I do. It's really fun. You don't even know.
What I do know is that this has been Paint the Town Dead.
That's right.
And we drop episodes bi-weekly, usually on a Tuesday.
That usually happens.
Yeah. Now bi-weekly. It used to be every week. Now we're to bi-weekly.
Yeah.
You can catch us on Facebook at Paint the Town Dead. You can catch us on Instagram, Paint the Town Dead, all one word. You can catch us on Twitter at PTTDpod. You can email us at pttdpod@gmail.com. You can look at our TikTok. There's nothing on there still after forever, and that's PTTDpod as well. Be sure to subscribe on anything you can, rate 5 stars anything you can, like anything you can, share anything you can. Any interaction you have with us helps, and we greatly appreciate it. There was somebody who mentioned us in their story. I want to see if I can find it and tell them thank you for that. That was who was it?
I have no idea.
Oh, somebody with the handle Sarah Beth Flying Pig. So thank you, Sarah Beth, for mentioning us in your story and sharing our stuff. We appreciate it.
Well,
and I think that's about it.
All right.
Okay, guys, thanks for listening to us. We greatly appreciate it. We'll see you in another couple weeks. And until then, stay safe and get vaccinated. And we'll see you then if you're here. Goodbye.
Yeah, as they say in the theme song for Go Go 5, save the earth, save the life.